Ciao, ciao, dosto. Hum jeet gaye. Finally, I had forgotten what it feels like after Roma wins a game, but that feeling is back after so long. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ajay Menon. I create content around football, especially Italian football, and with a certain bias towards my club, that's Roma. We are going to be talking about Roma's 4-1 win over Lecce. So, without any further ado, let's start the video. So guys, going into this game, this was a very crucial game क्योंकि ये game में Roma had no excuses. We had to show up. We had to get 3 points. This is Ranieri's fourth game in charge in his third spell. और Ranieri had a difficult start क्योंकि Napoli था सबसे पहला game away from home. Very difficult game. Roma showed a really good account of themselves in that game. Unfortunately, ended up losing 1-0. Then in the midweek game against Tottenham Hotspur, you saw that Roma, gave a fight. Spurs were leading, and Roma came back to, take a last-minute draw 2-2 at the London, North London Giants. Then, of course, you had the most difficult game against Atalanta, the in-form Atalanta, and 74 minutes stuck. I think Roma were in that game, but unfortunately, Atalanta, with those 2 goals, got all 3 points away. Or, Ranieri had started well, but the 3 points is what matters at the end of the day. So going up against a Lecce, who are obviously, on a bit of a high because unka bhi new manager bounce hai, Marco Giampaolo is their new coach. They recently drew against Juve, probably should have won that game against Juventus. So unka momentum was good. The confidence was, quite nice. And Roma, obviously, at home, had no excuses not to show up. The first half started, in a very good way. Roma did have that onus, that impetus to go out and score the opening goal, and score they did. It was Alexis Salemaekers' first goal, for Roma. El Shaarawy setting it up. लेकिन उसके बाद में Zeki Celik had an injury. Saud Abdul Hamid came to replace him, and he conceded a penalty. Lecce did score that penalty through Kristovic, and they drew level. And at halftime it was 1-1. ऐसा लग रहा था कि थोड़ा एक एंटी क्लाइमैक्स हुआ था क्योंकि Roma were the better team, but Lecce had clawed their way back into the game. And second half, you saw that Roma came out, changing gears. And I would like to point out that the substitution that really changed the game was Nicolo Pisilli coming on. Salemaekers definitely had a good game, but Pisilli coming on, that really changed the game. ये Ranieri ने भी कहा अपने post match conference में, वो दिख रहा था कि Pisilli आने के बाद में there was an injection of pace, there was that quality in the final third, and it all came together because you had Gianluca Mancini head a Roma ahead, another assist for El Shaarawy, and Mancini scoring with a header and of course doing his iconic celebration in front of the Kurwa. Uske baad mein you had Saud Abdul Hamid turning up the heat. So Saud Abdul Hamid ko kafi kuch flack mila hai, but to be honest, he is a player who's playing in the big European leagues for the first time, coming from Saudi Arabia and Asia. So granted that he gave away the penalty, but with all due respect to Lecce, these are the perfect teams where Saud Abdul Hamid needs to kind of get those minutes and get acclimatized to Serie A. And after a shaky first half, he came really good. And Gianluca Mancini said that Ranieri had told him ki as an older player, as a senior player, help him to get into the groove of things. And he gave an assist to Nicolo Pisilli, like I mentioned. And Pisilli, another, I have the name, back of the shirt. Up piche dekhoge, there's a Bowe jersey as well, so I love my, Roma boys, the kids who are from the academy, who bleed and play for the city. In fact, just before recording this video, I was speaking to Chintan of AC Milan, and we were talking about how sometimes rather than going for overpriced stars, we should go for Primavera products who understand what it means to play for the shirt. And Pisilli scoring that third goal, running to the Kurwa, and of course in the post-match conference he dedicated that goal to Eduardo Bove. So that's just all Romanita all around. And finally capping off the night was a fantastic Manu Kone goal. Again, an excellent game. A comment I was on Instagram mein ki it looks like he's got five lungs, and that's the performance that he gave, and capping off the night with a fantastic goal. A resounding 4-1 victory for Roma. And जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो कि थोड़ी बहुत खुशी तो आ गई है मेरे चेहरे पे, क्योंकि बहुत सफरिंग था यार. You can't imagine the level of suffering that Romanisti across the world have been going through. It just feels like a weight has been lifted off the shoulders. Speaking of which, Ranieri also said that once Lorenzo Pellegrini starts smiling again, and he has his weight released off his shoulders, he'll put him back into the starting 11. He of course did not play third game in a row for Ranieri. But just to cap off some other performances, I did mention about Manu Kone, but Leandro Paredes had an excellent game. He's made a big difference, and Ranieri reinstated him to the starting 11, and wo dikh raha hai, he had a very good game against Spurs as well, and another stellar performance as a regista, as a number 6 for Leo Paredes. And of course, Max Hummels. It is criminal now not to play him, because after getting back into full fitness, because obviously he was a free agent, uska koi club tha nahi, so he missed preseason. It took him a while to come into the rhythm of the game, and he had a stellar game once again. बहुत ही सही गेम था. In total उसने 12 interceptions किए, 10 on ground और 2 aerial. He won them all. So the duels that Hummels took part in, 100% record, 12 on 12. So आप just game जाके देखो, replay है GXR World में. It is a defensive masterclass, and you know what? There are people who compile individual performances on Twitter. So AS Roma compilations करके है. I'm sure he'll be putting out a Hummels video soon. It is a defensive masterclass worth watching. Last shout outs rather, to, of course, Paulo Dybala, who's playing in that false 9 position. He came back, did not get on the score sheet today, did not give any assist, but he sacrificed himself to play that role of the creator, and he played a full 90 minutes, which is also incredible. So ये आपको कोई स्टैट्स पेज में, आपको रेटिंग्स में, आपको कोई शायद ही कोई जर्नलिस्ट इस पे लिखेगा, बट डिबाला हैड एन एक्सेलेंट गेम एज अ फॉल्स 9. And finally, the last bit of tribute I want to give to is Stefan El Shaarawy. What a great asset he's been to Roma. Of course, his first spell after he came, back from Monaco, kind of like हमने सोचा कि क्या होगा एल शरावी का, because at Milan he had this high and then he came down. But the first spell of El Shaarawy, he came up with clutch goals, especially in Europe. Then he went to China to earn that big paycheck, came back, took a wage cut, and he's become such a matured player, can play in any position under any coach. You ask him to defend, he'll defend. You ask him to play left wing back, you ask him to play right wing, he'll play anywhere. Gives it all to the team, doesn't complain much. Excellent guy with an excellent attitude. 2 assists again in this game, comes up with clutch goals time and again. So El Shaarawy, Stefan El Farone, you are loved by Roma fans. And for any of you who haven't watched El Shaarawy's career in Roma, आपको लगा कि हाँ वो मिलान का हाई था, नहीं भाई, he's still been giving it, and what an asset he's been, and any team would be lucky to have a guy like El Shaarawy. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to come out and just kind of एक pent up ये रहता है कि आपको ये एक इतने दिनों से, इतने मैचेस में आपने देखा कि there have been some horrible performances under Ranieri. Of course, there's an improvement, but again, it doesn't show on the table if we don't get 3 points, right? So बहुत दिनों की ये जो भड़ास है वो मैंने अभी निकाल दी in a positive way, and this Sunday morning definitely feels good, man. I can enjoy my cup of coffee, and I can enjoy Grazie Roma without any remorse, and I can enjoy this weekend. That's how much a football club affects a person's life. I mean, if you're a non-football fan, I'm sure कि आपको पता नहीं कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन अगर आप फुटबॉल फैन हो तो you know what it is. You do know that the results of a football club has an effect on your daily life. With that, I'm going to sign off for this video. Thank you so much for watching. अगर आप यहाँ तक आए हो, do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Like the video, share it with your friends, and finally, I can say I'm proud of the team, proud of the ragazzi. Dai Roma sempre. Until next time, this is Ajay Menon, and it's ciao ciao.